right, everybody, welcome to episode 3 of TNA Impact in the series with me and Justin, where he plays some wrestling company to be determined, and I play TNA Impact, and we go head to head. And this is, of course, week 3 as we are building to Slammiversary. And listen, last week, we set up Zoe Stark, the next knockout up, as she takes on Madison Rayne tonight. Madison Rayne trying to prove that Zoe Stark is just some flash-in-the-pan rookie, and that she's a former Knockouts champion, so she knows what's up. We also have tonight, we have the tag team titles will be defended when the North take on Rob Van Dam and Sabu. They were successful last week in that six-man tag team match. And so tonight they've earned Jillian Jacobs. She gave the people what they wanted after they chanted EC Dub last week. She gave them tonight a tag team championship match. We have that and many more to come on TNA Impact.
Cross the line. Jillian Jacobs seems like a people pleaser. She's the people's GM, man. She hears the chants for ECW or EV2 or PS5 or whatever they were chanting for, and she gave it to them. And that's my kind of girl, That's exactly. My kind of girl.
This is the people's show.
This is the people's show.
Really,
whatever company I'm running is now, we have decided that we are not doing AEW. We feel like, at least I feel like, the standings are a little too skewed in AEW's way, because not only do we have more popular wrestlers, but we have more money to deal with WWE. We have more popularity to deal with WWE. It's just I want to be on an even ground or slightly behind Chad to start off. So we're gonna look into maybe Ring of Honor, maybe NWA could be a good choice. I remember when we first talked about this series, NWA was on top of my list, just because it sounds.
I actually kind of like the idea of you doing NWA.
I kind of do too. The only thing there's one guy on NWA that I have that I kind of want you to have, so we'll maybe make a deal for him. But I think NWA is the choice here, Chad. I think we're gonna bring NWA back to its the promised land with because EC3 and Tyrus.
Both NWA and TNA need to regain their glory.
That could be the whole my road to glory. There it is. That's the series safe. That's the name. We got it. Welcome to week 3, episode 3 of the Road to Glory, where we try to bring glory back to our name, our companies of TNA and NWA. We got it.
Listen,
we got it.
We're bound for glory.
We're bound for glory. Fuck, that's good. Oh man, you're in your bag right now, Chad. Let's get into it. Where's Trish Stratus when I need her? Let's start the show. Oh, we're starting off hot and heavy.
Listen,
there's Trish Stratus. She's at ringside.
Say her name and she appears. Trish Stratus is the manager of Zoe Stark in this big opening contest. And Justin, Zoe Stark continues to impress because in a poor match, Zoe Stark defeated Madison Rayne in 12-17 by pinfall. And listen, Zoe Stark is now 2-0 in TNA.
I love Zoe Stark. What's her finishing move? Sorry, I'm out of breath. I woke up.
What is Zoe Stark's finisher?
What's her theme in the Fed? What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Oh, what a banger. We move on. Zoe Stark, she is dominating though. 12 minutes, her longest match, but she brought it to a veteran of the TNA roster, Madison Rayne. She got the dub, so can't complain.
Yeah, can't complain. After that match, Trish Stratus and Gail Kim both in the ring celebrating with Zoe Stark. Listen, Zoe Stark has 2 strong mentors to lean on in Gail Kim and Trish Stratus.
What you see is what you got.
And then our next match, we've got Crazy Steve and Rosemary the Decay taking on the Desi Hit Squad. And in the decent match, Crazy Steve and Rosemary defeat the Desi Hit Squad in 11-12 when Crazy Steve pinned Rohit Rahu with a centralizer.
Crazy Steve was the guy in Drake and Josh, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, this might be your best match yet, a 45.
Listen, Rosemary and Crazy Steve, they're putting the company on their back.
Hey, Rohit Raju is also pretty decent. Everyone in this match was good. So Desi Hit Squad got a tag team specialist bonus as well, so a good bonus for them. So
we love a tag team specialist bonus. And then after that match, they are beaten down by the Deaners.
Yeah, I mean,
those bastards.
They had to from last week. The call out, they had to
show. Yeah, they basically beat them down. And then Cody Deaner says, "We accept.
We accept you, crazy Steve."
And tonight we've got the number one contender. Jillian Jacobs made the match last week. Havoc won despite, of course, Tennille Dashwood beating not Trish Stratus, beating Jordan Grace via cheating. So therefore, Jillian Grace said, "I don't think you deserve anything." So she made this number one contenders match, and Havoc beat Tasha Steelz. And in an extremely short match, Havoc also defeated Leah Vaughn in 3:48 with a Havoc killer.
Now the people are asking, right, Chad? Now that there are 2 tapings of TNA already online, spewing out on the dirt sheets, is there any indication that Leah Vaughn will be a TNA superstar? Is she going to get a contract offer after her performance? She has gone through the ringer the last few tapings. Deonna Purrazzo and Zoe Stark. Now she walked in the ring with Havoc. Is she going to be rewarded with a contract offer?
I'll say this, only time will tell, but TNA management has been very impressed with Leah Vaughn.
I mean, yes, the matches have been bad. We had a 15 and a 19. She got a 30 here and a 33 in-ring. So, obviously she hasn't brought to the table the performances that you are after, but she has held her own, and, she's kind of winning the crowd over. So I hope as a dirt sheet writer and a fellow watcher of TNA wrestling, I love TNA wrestling. I'll have it with some pizza. I hope you guys bring in some Leah Vaughn.
Alrighty, and after that match, Havoc is celebrating in the ring after her big win, and Tennille Dashwood attacks her and is beginning to basically take out the number one contender, and the champion, who already had a score to settle with Tennille Dashwood, runs out to make the save. And listen, what does this mean for the Knockouts Championship match at Slammiversary? Who is to say? But we see these 3 women standing in the ring, outside of the ring. Bodies are everywhere as these 3 women look like they have some beef.
I mean, yeah, Jordan Grace, the champion, Havoc, the number one contender. But Tennille Dashwood does have a win over the champion, so maybe that comes into play leading up to Slammiversary. We only have a couple more impacts before that, but up next, Chad, here we go.
Yes, up next we have ourselves a match between Tommy Dreamer versus Hernandez, and in a decent match with Subpar Wrestling, Hernandez defeats Tommy Dreamer in 10:28 with a flying splash. Hernandez getting a win back. He has been struggling the last couple of weeks, feuding with men that Tommy Dreamer is quite fond of in the EV2 ECW members of Rhino, Sabu, and Rob Van Dam. But tonight, he was successful in defeating Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, he got a win over... he lost to Hernandez. Will that be... Well, his fellow friends share the same fate as they vie and fight for the tag team titles later tonight in our main event. But,
yes, we are backstage, and we see... We see, of course, Corey Jarvis, the Commonwealth Kid himself, backstage, and he gets greeted by Ken Shamrock, and Ken Shamrock says, "Listen, Corey, I liked what I saw there, and listen, it's been a long time since I've really taken somebody under my wing, but I think you have what it takes to be the next member of the Shamrock Academy." And the Commonwealth Kid, he's so excited. He says, "Oh my gosh, Ken Shamrock, I'm so honored." And Ken Shamrock says, "So let's see what you got. Next week, we're going to have ourselves an open challenge. Any tag team in TNA can challenge Ken Shamrock and the Commonwealth Corey Jarvis." next week.
Damn, Commonwealth Corey Jarvis has got himself a friend in the living legend Ken Shamrock. This could be an insane duo. The Shamrock Dojo question mark?
That's basically what it is.
Our co-main event here tonight, Chad.
That's our co-main event. We have OVE, who are, of course, the two of the three assailants who hit Tessa Blanchard backstage with a car and stole the TNA Impact World Championship tonight. They wrestle XXXL, and in a poor match, OVE defeat XXXL in 13-14 when Jake Chris pinned AC Romero with a super kick.
Hey, once again, AC Romero, 43. The guy's got something, Chad. He's something special. Write his name down. He's going to be one to watch here in the future.
One to watch in the future.
But not to take away, not to take anything away from OVE. Those guys are dominant. They get the easy win over XXXXXXL.
Yep. And then after the match, Tessa Blanchard, a woman on a warpath. She wants to get back her TNA championship belt, and she wants to get her hands on Sami Callihan. And so even though Sami Callihan is not out there, she grabs a steel chair and she beats down Dave and Jake Christ.
She should have ran him over like she did, or they did to her. She couldn't get a car to the ring.
She would have found them in the park. Yeah, if she would have found them in the parking lot, maybe she would have.
We move on. Here's our co-main, I think, actually. Sorry.
Yes, our co-main event. After denying the fight between Eddie Edwards, Moose took on a match against Mike Elgin instead. And then about that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. Michael Elgin defeats Moose in 13-48 after a sit-down powerbomb following a distraction from that rascal Eddie Edwards.
Then,
of course, Michael Elgin broke his toe.
Yeah, I was going to say, during the match, you could see very early on that Mike Elgin took a foot stomp kind of directly on his toes, and it kind of affected him the whole match, and it really slowed down Mike Elgin. But to his degree, came back strong and still won the match with a massive powerbomb, and still got a 59 with a broken toe. So Mike Elgin, in real life, awful human being. This game, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Thanks, Chris Sabin. Is he not a worker?
I guess not. We'll have to change that.
Yeah, Chris Sabin, you're working the next show, brother.
And then after the match, Moose and Eddie Edwards, they go to blows, and Moose agrees to face Eddie Edwards in a match next week.
Oh, that's going to be a massive impact next week, Moose and Eddie Edwards. Probably your main event, but this main event is spicy, Chad. It is so spicy. Tag team titles on the line here. Kings of the North.
Yes.
EV2. Who do you got?
Well, I know who won. Who do you got? I guess you know too. But in a decent match, the North defeat Rob Van Dam and Sabu in 15-20 when Ethan Page pinned Sabu with a spinning facebuster. And following an interference on Rob Van Dam and Sabu when they were attacked by that rascals Reno scum. And of course, due to that interference, the North were able to capitalize and make defense number 1 of the Impact World Tag Team titles.
Yeah, during the interference, the Luster Legend grabbed RVD and hit him with a neck breaker on the outside of the ring. Unfortunately, though, it went wrong, and RVD landed on his neck wrong, landed on his head wrong, and has suffered a Chichilian neck nerve damage. Has really fucked up his neck. This could be a career-ending injury right here, and it's too early to tell how long he'll be out. But it's something to really look out for. It could be something that he could work through, but hopefully the best for RVD after that devastating injury and botched move from Luster the Legend.
Thoughts in pairs.
Yes, thank you, D'Lo Brown. Actually, Josh Alexander caused it. My bad, not Luster the Legend. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Josh Alexander, a man with an injured neck history, injures RVD's neck. Okay. Chad is quiet because he's trying to figure out
That's not good. So far, Josh Alexander has had bad chemistry and broke Rob Van Dam's neck. So.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
And then Sami Callihan, he is back in Ohio. He is sitting on his couch. There's a LeBron James jersey from the Cavs, so you know for jersey on the couch, so you know he is indeed in Ohio. And he says, "Why did I hit you with that car and take this championship from you, Tessa Blanchard? Because you've had this coming for a long time. You see, you and me, we're not strangers. We're used to trading blows. And listen, I gotta tell you, Tessa Blanchard, you are one of the very best wrestlers in this company. But you are one of the worst people in this industry. You don't give a damn about these fans. You're nothing more than a fake fraud. The difference between you and me is I also don't give a damn about these people. But at least I'm honest about it. Tessa, there's nowhere for you to hide anymore, and at Slammiversary, there will still be nowhere for you to hide when I defeat you and win this TNA Impact Championship and prove to everybody that I am the best in TNA. And you are a bitch."
Whoa, hey!
Whoa, hey!
Oh, can he say that?
He just did.
Oh shit!
They bleep it. They bleep it out.
Oh, they're in Canada. They don't give a fuck over there. That's the end of Impact. At 43. Again, increasing popularity. Everyone's going through the roof, Chad. Can NWA continue their run? Or we don't even know what kind of run they're on yet. We'll find out later tonight. But one more episode of Impact on this taping, Chad. Corey Jarvis and Ken Shamrock are teaming together, right? Correct?
Yes, next week.
And Moose and Eddie Edwards. Well, those are two big matches for next Impact. We'll see you there. Hey, welcome back to another episode of NWA Power. We are live in Nashville, Tennessee. We have a massive show today, headlined by a massive tag team match. Nick Aldis, our World Heavyweight Champion, is teaming up with his stablemate Camille to take on Dirty South Trevor Murdoch and a surprise partner of his choosing. So let's get into another episode of NWA Power. We start the show off with the NWA World Heavyweight, or the World Television Champion. I'm getting all my titles confused. The Television Champion, Zicky Dice, coming out to the ring for another match. He's on a little bit of a streak. He beat Zane Dawson 2 weeks ago. Last week we saw him beat Dave Dawson. So he's coming out to the ring to have another match. But he is ambushed. Out comes Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona rushes out and beats down Zicky Dice. Oh my God. He picks him up and rolls Zicky into the ring and then slides in right behind him while he's chirping the crowd who is booing him, flipping Matt Cardona off. Cardona hits the Rough Rider on Dice, and he picks up the NWA World Television Championship belt, and he raises it up in the air. The fans here in Nashville, Tennessee are not thrilled to see Matt Cardona, and they're not thrilled to see him beat down their champion, Zicky Dice. That's a huge way to start the show. Matt Cardona making his debut here in NWA. Just again, the same thing with in real life. What happened to EC3? He got fired or was let go during all the COVID. It's air quotes in this universe. And the layoffs a few months ago. So Cardona is, I think that was right. Did Cardona get laid off in 2020? We'll find out. But that's the story we're running. We move on to our next segment, our opening match. C.W. Anderson is taking on Sal Rinauro. And in a terrible match, I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing about C.W. Anderson is terrible. I might be wrong, but C.W. Anderson defeating Sal Rinauro in 7:48 with that patented that iconic spine buster. Sorry, forgive me. It is 3 o'clock in the morning, and I cannot speak. Big win though for C.W. Anderson in 7:48. His debut here in NWA, a big win for him. But both of these men were off their game. Both debuts for both men, so maybe they were just a little bit nervous to have a match here in Nashville, Tennessee, in front of 190 people. We move on. We have another match. Oh, man, a man we saw last week, post-match, or not even post-match, cost Eddie Kingston a victory over Ethan Carter III. It's the son of Road Warrior Hawk, or Animal, and the nephew of John Laurinaitis. It is Big James Laurinaitis, the former NFL player, the former Ohio State linebacker. He's here. He's making his in-ring debut against the question mark. And the people are asking, what kind of in-ring ability does James Laurinaitis have? That's a big question mark that people are talking about on the dirt sheets coming into this night. And they might be right, as he only got a 22, but wins in 5:41 with a spear. A big win, a big debut for James Laurinaitis. But after the match, Ethan Carter III, he rolls into the ring and directs James Laurinaitis to continue the beatdown on the question mark, putting the stomp onto him, putting the beat down to him, and then Eddie Kingston comes out and makes the save, scurrying off to the backstage area where EC3 and James Laurinaitis. Big debut for James Laurinaitis. We move on. Backstage, Billy Corgan is sitting there looking at the new Observer, reading the new Observer as his office door is busted through, and it's Matt Cardona. And Cardona throws the NWA TV belt at him, and he just yells at him. He says, "And I expect my own locker room next week, Corgan. I refuse to change in the hallway with these indie geeks," as he closes the door. Matt Cardona, oh boy, a stuck-up, snobby son of a bitch. But he is here and then in the NWA. We move on. Our co-main event, Melina and Allison Kay, two of our biggest and best and brightest veterans of the women's division, go toe-to-toe here tonight. And Allison Kay gets the best of Melina in 10-15, pinning her with a cutthroat. This could be, both these women could be the number one contender for the women's championship held by Thunder Rosa. But, as of right now, they're just going one-on-one, and Allison Kay gets the big win here tonight as we go into commercial. And we come back. Alicia Tout is in the ring, and it's strictly business. Nick Aldis and Camille head out down to the ring to await the main event, to await the surprise opponent from surprise partner of Trevor Murdoch, as they come out, and Nick Aldis has something to say. He says, well, Nashville, you are welcome. You are welcome that I am gracing this awful, dirty, smelly, disgusting American town with my presence. As the crowd continues to boo Nick Aldis, he continues with, someone of my stature, someone of my grace and class should not be slumming around this little piss town they call the Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. Speaking of piss town, Dirty South, Trevor Murdoch, you remind me of all these people in the crowd right now. Just a no-good, rotten, two-timey, smelly hillbilly that has no business being this close to the national treasure, Nick Aldis. So I think it's time we can just get to this big reveal, this big match, so I can get to my private jet. Me and Camille can fly out of here, and we can enjoy our time away from this shithole. Before he finishes shithole, Trevor Murdoch comes out, and the crowd erupts. They're excited to see Dirty South, Trevor Murdoch, and out comes with him is the NWA Women's Champion Thunder Rosa. She is the surprise mystery partner for Trevor Murdoch as we get into our main event. It is Nick Aldis and Camille going in a tag team match against Murdoch and Thunder Rosa. And in a decent little match here, those little scumbags, Aldis getting the best of them as Camille went after Thunder Rosa, and Trevor Murdoch kind of looking over the rope like, hey, what's going on out there? He's going to go rescue Thunder Rosa. But Nick Aldis schoolboys him and uses the rope for leverage to get the 1, 2, 3 and sneaks out of there to end the show. Trevor Murdoch and Thunder Rosa have great chemistry. But Aldis and Camille get the job done here in the main event to end the show. That is your Week 3 NWA Power. We do need to turn Thunder Rosa. For some reason, she was a heel at this point, but now she's a face. 45. We'll take it. We'll see you for episode 4.